Now we're into mid-tier. Kirby is definitely the lowest character in mid-tier. Kirby's better than people give credit for. I do think, of course, Kirby is slow and can get walled out, so sword characters are hard. But also, Kirby's advantage is kind of scary. It's not as good as DK's, but it's kind of scary. And also, Kirby has really, really good edge guarding because down air is broken. Also, Kirby's crouch like invalidates half of neutral against like a lot of characters. Like, crouch invalidates neutral against like Zero Suit and Wolf and any character that's like short hop and do aerials. Crouch is just better, so you crouch and then just up tilt. Up tilt is insane. Also, again, there's Kirby Dare Ride. This character has a decent amount of results because I know there's the French Kirby Je suis choc, and then there's of course Jeja, who's incredible. I think Jeja get like a big upset recently. I don't remember who it was though. Jeja Kirby. And again, obviously, I'm not talking about like results equal suddenly the character is good. I know that's not how that works, and that's never been the case for it worked for me. But I feel like some characters' metas are getting a little bit more solid and a little bit more fleshed out, and I feel like Kirby is absolutely one of those characters. Because again, the damage output of this character is ridiculous. The combos of this character are really, really good. Because again, just all you need is a little bit of cheese. Look at that. Like, unreal, like, ability to edge guard. Of course, not everything's gonna work all the time, and sometimes you're gonna get zoned out, and sometimes you're just gonna fucking die, because welcome to this game. Sometimes everyone dies, and there are some bad matchups for Kirby, don't get me wrong, but I feel like Kirby has the tools and the combos and has copy ability to make a lot of matchups better. And also, Kirby kills mad early. Like, Kirby's kill potential is ridiculous with, like, forward smash, down smash, up smash, obviously. Then you have back air, you have dash attack, you have up throw. Like, character kills. Continuing on is one other big boy, and that's going to be Ridley. We got the pinks and purples here. This character has a lot of good things. He has crazy aerials. He has some of the best killing in the game. He has some of the best 2-frames in the game because of its forward tilt and its forward smash. He has, like, some meta. He has some just, like, invalidating moves, like neutral B on certain recoveries. His, like, damage output is really good. Side B is a really good command grab, even if it is slow and reactable. But overall, this character is just going to get outpaced, right? Same as Kirby, right? You're going to get outpaced, you're going to get, like, bad matchups. He has a lot of meta-relevant bad matchups, like Palu and Steve and Aegis and Mario. Like, a lot of common characters just absolutely obliterate Ridley, but he is swingy enough that he can win anyway, because he can just randomly get the hit, he can randomly get the up B, he can randomly get the side B, and so he's just like a better version of DK to me. Like, DK has a better advantage state, but Ridley is less flawed of a character. If you want to flip these, that makes sense too. I don't necessarily disagree. I just think Ridley's a little better. Next up, we have one of the kings of early Smash. That was Ike. What Ike does, he is great at. Nair up air, nair back air, normals, killing, but he is slow and he is obvious. So he has one plan, and the one plan isn't good enough to win against a lot of characters that have either one better plan or like multiple plans. Ike has one plan, and if it's not working, he's fucked. And that's just how it is. Ike does have some results though. Yes, doing very well in Japan. He got like 9th at a major recently. Ike is terrifying. He can kill you super early. He has Nair up B to like SD. He has Nair up B to kill at like 70. If he has Rage, it's terrifying. But again, a lot of characters are faster and have better advantage and are scarier, even if they don't kill you as early, because they're just going to advantage you to death. And Ike doesn't really advantage you to death. He just kills you at 80. So yeah. Next up is a promotion from my last tier list. I apologize. I am so sorry to the Ice Climbers players and the Ice Climbers lovers. I'm sorry I put them in low tier. I'm sorry, okay? They're mid tier. They're a decent character. Because what I am realizing is that sometimes it doesn't matter if you have 9, 8, 2s, because there's 75 relevant characters, so it doesn't matter if you have some unlosable or unwinnable matchups, because you're probably not going to run into them unless your unwinnable matchup is Steve, which he still does well against. Character's still like bottom 20, it's fine. Like, they're not great, they're not an amazing character, but they have some shit. Desyncs, they have the damage output, they have a lot of setups, but of course, you can become half a character. You can time out Popo. There's a lot of negatives to Ice Climbers. They have some pretty good meta-relevant matchups. They beat the fuck out of Kazuya. That matchup sucks. Like, they are so good versus the fighting game characters. It is ridiculous. Ice Climbers are a huge matchup check. They're probably one of the biggest matchup checks of all the characters that I've talked about so far. And, like, if you don't know it, they're a top tier. Like, if you don't know the Ice Climbers matchup, you are screwed. Like, you are going to get obliterated. Like Exodia, obliterate. Like, it's not going to be fun. But if you do know the matchup, and you separate them, and you edge guard them correctly, like, they're up B, and you, like, don't try to punish side B because you know the Desync Blizzard is going to happen, then, like, they're worse. You can have Big D get like top 3 at a major, and then the next major he can get 25th or 33rd because he ran into a Pac-Man and a Belmont. That's the character. Like, the character's inconsistent, which is the reason they're down here. If you're talking peak or like good matchups, they're here, in my opinion. but they do have a couple of checks that still keep them down here. Even though if they don't run into those, or if the other person doesn't know how to play the matchup correctly, they're still gonna win. Like, Ice Climbers are still gonna win. Next up are the Pits. Again, I think the Pits are good. I think they got sauce. I think they have a lot of solid stuff. Literally just, they don't have a top rep. The best rep of Pit is DeBuzz and he doesn't play, and it's also Ray's from Australia. He has one of the best nairs in the game. He has great normals, he has great speed, but the problem is he's not really gonna cheese you for kills very often, and he has an exploitable recovery. So he can accidentally lose a lot, because his disadvantage, I mean, he has down B, which is good, but like a lot of characters can mess with it anyway. And he doesn't really have anything like, whoa, he killed me super early, except for like up air, drag down, forward smash or something, which isn't really gonna happen frequently enough for me to care about it. They have some good stuff, but the problem is they don't have anything ridiculous. They don't really have a lot of flaws, but they don't have anything ridiculous. And in this game, a lot of times having something ridiculous is more important than just being solid across the board. So honestly, because of that, I'm gonna do this. And after Dark Pit, we have Pichu. Pichu's offense is still one of the scariest characters in the game if you get hit. Their combos are ridiculous, their damage output's really high, but the problem is in this game, because Pichu is so light, he randomly dies. All the time. And he gets zoned out, and he gets out hitboxed, and he gets just random things will randomly happen to Pichu. Like, Pichu is only like relevantly good against like heavy characters, but even then, that's terrifying because if you miss an edge guard against a Bowser, you're gonna get F-tilt 2 framed at 55 and explode. So even though his offense is literally like top 10 probably, his offense is amazing. His boost grab is, or sorry, his roll cancel grab is amazing. It's so good, but it doesn't matter because he's just gonna get hit and die. Like honestly, it's this. Ice Climbers are better. Next up, we have a character that I feel like people forget is good. We got Gunner. Mii Gunner is crazy. Capitancito is incredible. And there's also a couple of other Gunner players. I know there's like Elijahman or something from Canada who just did well at the event, like the $15,000 or $50,000 Canadian event thing. Gunner has some of the best ledge trapping in the game. Gunner has great get off me options in terms of up smash, up tilt. If you use the rocket jump, the strong up B, it's really good. Gunner's just really not common, so you don't see it often, but Gunner's like really good. I don't know what Gunner's worst matchup would be other than like Falco. It's really hard to get into Gunner. Gunner's really mobile, like not literally fast, but has like F-tilt and fair and nair and like stuff to keep you away. And it's really hard to get around Gunner, not even from like a you don't know the matchup thing, but just like it's hard to get around Gunner, like objectively. I feel like Gunner has so many layers to all of these mix-ups. It's kind of like Duck Hunt, if Duck Hunt could kill. Next up, we have a character that a couple of people in chat have mentioned already, Metaknight. What I said in my last tier list is like, Metaknight should never be getting these like things and he has so many bad matchups, just play a different character. But the thing is, a lot of the characters that Metaknight does well against are like very relevant. Like Lucina, like Min. I think honestly he does pretty well versus Steve. Rob is a really relevant character. Mewtwo, like I'm just looking at my other list over here. Peach, Game & Watch, Pac-Man, like a lot of like really strong characters just get Samus. Like honestly, I was low-key thinking of picking up Meta Knight for Samus. Like a lot of meta-relevant characters just lose to Meta Knight. So it's realistic that in a tournament you're gonna find a lot of matchups that are good for you, and even some matchups that aren't good for you based on the combo, like Fox or something like that. It's like, okay, I edge guard. He has edge guarding, he has the combos, he has annoying neutral, and then of course he has some moves that you just blatantly have to respect, like down B, like forward smash that you just have to not fuck with. Meta Knight's good. He's not great, but he's good. Robin is pretty bad, but character does a lot of damage. And again, randomly will win. Great ledge trapping in terms of the arc fire stuff. A lot of characters can't effectively deal with the thunder stuff. You have amazing arrows with Levin. Obviously, I think Robin may be a little overrated on this list because, again, not having Levin Sword is a big deal. Running out of your tools to be good is a really big deal because suddenly you're a worse character for like, 30 seconds or 10 seconds. 10 seconds is a lot of time, right? 10, 12 seconds is a lot for not having an anti-air anymore. He kills you mad early, like super early, and has a lot of things to just be like, I'm gonna spam win conditions. Like, Robin has good win conditions. I just think that we have, like, the Robin mains are worse than the top, like, Meta Knight main in Abadongo or Big D, or like Neotono, but I think Robin is still like a better character. But also, again, as I mentioned in my last video, if you want to up or down a character by like 4 or 5 spots, it's the same thing. Like if you really are like, oh my god, Pichu is better than Robin, I'll be like, okay. Like it's not like steadfast. Like the only ones that are like very definitively where they are like bottom 7 and like top 10. It doesn't really, like, they're all negotiable up like 3-5 spots. Shout out iGreg, he's really good. That's fun. After Robin, we have a version of a character we already have in the tier list, which is Villager, who's similar to Isabelle. Villager is a character that has all the good things that Isabelle has, right? Edge guarding, good out of shield options, strong, like, take you off the stage combos. You have good neutral in terms of having to do with Lloyd Rocket, you have Tree, you have X, and you have one of the swingiest moves in Bowling Ball. Bowling Ball and Down Smash are such swingy moves because you get Down Smash into Bowling Ball or Bowling Ball off stage or Down Smash into Up Smash. Character kills really surprisingly well, like actually very, very, very well. I mean, you have like a decent amount of villagers doing well. You have Kep, you have Bobby Wasabi, you have Pokelam from the Northeast. I think there's like 1 or 2 other villagers that I'm missing that I forget that's like actually pretty good. Like the character has a lot of good things. You just have some really bad matchups. But again, as I talked about with Ice Climbers, sometimes having bad matchups doesn't matter because you just win anyway. You get your win condition, and villagers' win condition is Bowling Ball. And Bowling Ball's fucking broken. Lucas is upper mid tier. Again, Lucas has a lot, right? Double jump cancel's there, forward air stuff, like all of his aerials are really safe on shield, his kill potential's crazy, he has PK freeze, he has an invincible up smash, a lot of really good stuff. But the problem is in my opinion, of all the characters so far, he is by far the hardest. Lucas has some really good stuff in general, like short hop fair and short hop up air, like again, the aerials of this character, the grab is pretty good with like 3 fucking kill throws for no reason. Lucas theoretically is broken. Like I think Lucas theoretically is like here or here, but the problem is he's so applicably hard that it barely matters. Like you can't keep up playing super top Lucas for like an entire tournament, and even if you do one tournament, you're going to do poorly the next tournament because he's just too hard and he doesn't have anything easy enough to just coast. You can't just coast as Lucas, you have to be playing on your shit all the time in like every matchup. The last 2 characters in this tier, we have 2 heavies. King K. Rool, character got some sauce. Nair just beats most recoveries. If you don't have like a bunch of ability to like move around and stuff, he has a good grab game. He's really strong. He has belly armor. He has a counter. He has intangible up air. He can kill super early because his character kills out the ass. He's heavy, has a decent enough recovery that like you can edge guard, but like so few characters in this meta are edge guarding characters that it basically doesn't matter. And he has some pretty decent matchups across the board. Like Kirby Kid like just doesn't lose to Steve. I think he does like okay versus Roy. Like he has a bunch of even matchups and even maybe some winning matchups in like the top tier and like upper high tier characters. Like is he not a great character? Yeah, but he's solid. He's really solid. This is probably the biggest non-nerf demotion of any character on my tier list. And it's Bowser. I think Bowser sucks. I think Bowser's not a very good character. It's funny, I talked about accidentally winning and accidentally losing, and while Bowser is a character that can accidentally win, because you have like 2 frames and you have just like the power of Bowser, he honestly accidentally loses more than accidentally wins. His disadvantage is one of the worst in the game. His recovery is one of the worst in the game. And the thing is, he doesn't even have an advantage state like DK's. Bowser's advantage state, like certain matchups it's good, but overall it's not particularly scary. If a Bowser jumps at you in the air, you're not scared. You assume they're going to bait you, fast fall, and then up tilt or up smash. Like it's all baits for him, whereas DK actually has good aerials. Like I understand why people would want to play DK in a tournament set over Bowser, because Bowser is a character that just, he doesn't have as good of a grab, like Bowser barely has cheese other than I hard red you cheese, as opposed to I gotta grab at 45 because you hit my shield, dead. As a tournament character, DK is better than Bowser in my opinion. Bowser does have some great things, again, frame 6 out of shield up B, frame 9 out of shield side B, good command grab in general, flame breath, a lot of good stuff, which is why the character has results, right? Like Hedo in Japan is amazing. He's like top 10 in Japan. And then of course you have Leon in the US. I don't know if there's any European Bowsers. This character is falling out of meta because as sword characters become more relevant and as juggle characters and as zoner, like Bowser loses to so many archetypes of characters and like all of them are common. So if they're doing well, it's because the Bowser is outplaying you / you don't know the matchup. So we have made our way to low high tier, and the first character in low high tier, I know, listen, I know, this is gonna sound insane and unbelievable, but the lowest character in low high tier, this character that's been missing, Dr. Mario. Dr. Mario, as I talked about, has win conditions. Pill, down tilt, down throw. There are so many options for Doc to randomly get a kill. And yes, is he slow? Sure. But the thing is, the only things he has to worry about are really mobile, big sword characters, like Aegis, like Lucina, and like Min Min, right? Min Min's a bad matchup. But did you see the D-Doc? It literally almost took a game from Dabuz, the second best Min Min, or third best Min Min. Maybe Justice's Min Min is better at this point. I don't know. Sumo Tsuto does really well in Japan. Bacon gets like top 32 at majors like once, like 2 or 3 times. He's got top 32. I really think this is just a really slept on, underutilized character that actually has a lot. He's terrifying. In a tournament setting, he's terrifying. And I'm considering tournament characters to be part of the rubric of this game. Do you want to say that maybe DK should be up here like Doc? Yeah, I understand. I get that. But But the thing is, Doc has somehow like as much, if not more cheese than DK, but also somehow has a better recovery when you have your double jump. When you don't have your double jump, you f***ing die. Armor on your down B, so you can armor people out with down B, and he just kills so early. He consistently gets killed so early, and his up B is one of the best up Bs, especially like probably the best killing up B in the game. Good character. The second lowest character in this tier for me is going to be Chrom. So ironically, some of the bad recovery characters are next to each other. Chrom obviously has a lot of amazing strengths. He has a great up air. He has just good moves in general, right? Like in general, most of his moves are better than Roy's moves because they don't need a sour spot, right? And he kills super early and has a bunch of crazy combos. But the problem is, like Doc, he accidentally loses like a ton. Maybe honestly somehow more. Like I feel like Chrom gets edge guarded equally as much, if not more, than Dr. Mario, and that's saying something. Chrom is a character who in theory, if you play really well, he's broken. He's absolutely broken. But you get hit once out of your double jump. You can't double jump in neutral as this character, and that kind of throws off a lot of mix-ups because people know you're coming down, because if you double jump and you get hit, you're gonna die. You actually just die. But there are plenty of characters down here that can cheese out tournament wins against Chrom because Chrom's playing really well, and then he got back thrown and died. It's the Ganondorf effect, except way better character, right? So yeah. I think this is a little bit of a promotion from the last tier list. I think Toon Link is low high tier. Toon Link has a game plan and he can really stick to it. His full hop is so good that it doesn't matter sometimes. Like there are very few characters that can legitimately catch Toon Link for dash away full hop bomb. Up B add a shield. F tilt's a really good move. I think the Toon Links are like optimizing their combos too, not less so with back air, but more with like double hit nair, up tilt, F tilt and stuff like that. Character can edge guard really well. The character obviously has really consistent kills because of boomerang and bomb to forward air. You have Z drop bomb into up air. You have just everything into up air too. Like I know that Japan thinks really highly of Toon Link, and I understand why. He kind of fluctuates on my tier lists based on like what I'm valuing more that week. But right now I'm valuing like consistency in terms of kills, because killing is really important in a game where you can get hit once and die, is like most of the cast. I don't even know who Wadi means at this point. Mewtwo. He's fast. He does mad damage. He has a million ways to kill you with back throw and up throw and forward air and back air and up air and forward tilt and shadow ball and side B into forward air. And then if you ever get a down B into a smash attack, you have up tilt into smash attack. He has a lot of stuff, but the problem is he's really light and he's big. So Mewtwo gets comboed really hard and randomly just dies a lot, and that's like the thing holding him back. And not even like because tail, but just because he's light and big. It's like Ridley, he might be better than this. It's just like there's almost no reason to play Mewtwo when you can just play Samus, because Samus is just a way better Mewtwo that's like slower, but who gives a shit. This character has also fallen off a lot. They have only got buffed, it's just they fell out of meta. That's Inkling. All of the characters that I've talked about so far that are randomly really high, like Doc, like, you know, Bowser being low, K. Rool being high, Ice Slammers and Metaknight being higher than before, it's because they can randomly get wins. Inkling cannot. Inkling has to outplay you the entire game. The only characters that can randomly get wins on, it's not even random, it's like, oh, up throw upper works really well on your character. Like Snake. Inkling has some good matchups, right? Like Snake, I think they still do well versus Joker, even though you never see Inkling anymore, so it's hard to know if they do well versus Joker, and also there's no Jokers. Does decent versus like a decent amount of the top tiers. But the problem is, they do well versus the top tiers in theory, but then those top tiers can probably just randomly kill them. And Inkling can never do that. The most random kill you're gonna get is a roller at 90, and randomly killing at 90 is not the same thing as randomly killing at 20, like a lot of characters can. Their advantage isn't good enough. Their neutral is really good, but it's not good enough because someone can just spam really favored risk-reward options like Wario Nair, Kazuya Electric, Steve, anything, and they're just gonna die, right? Like, it's not worth it. And we're talking about a character that is lower on my list because they can randomly lose. This character can randomly win. Bayonetta. Bloom Forever's really good. He's incredibly good. What a strong player that honestly is a good player of their own right. Clearly we've seen that with the Mii Brawler and their secondaries. Lima is crazy. You also have Deathspade, who's done really well recently. Bayonetta's results are super high on the rise. Bayonetta is an edgeguarding character, so all the random characters that like kind of get away with not being great at recovery, but no one edgeguards, so it doesn't matter. Bayo's one of the characters that just goes, oh, I don't care, and just kills you for it. With up B, with Nair, with down air, with Witch Time. When you go to some top tier matchups, it's a little hard for Bayo to get kills, which is why they're not higher. You need to like get like jabs or specifically Witch Times, but it's a little bit hard to get those consistently, but also you're still consistently getting 0 to 60s and 70s and 80s, and I think that Bayos could afford to camp a little more to actually, you know, let their leads marinate a little bit. Like, I feel like they approach way too much. It's not like a Leo Byleth situation where it's like, yeah, Byleth in theory, results-wise, is the best character in the game, but like clearly that's not the case. Bayo's a weird character, so you need to know the matchup. So like characters like Duck Hunt and Bowser Jr. and stuff like that, you need to know the matchup in order to do well versus them. And if you don't, you're gonna get obliterated. But even if you do know, you're still gonna randomly get side beat and down tilted and up tilted, back aired, like, right? Like, there's still so many good tools, but if you don't know the matchup's gonna be that much worse. Bayo go crazy. You know who also go crazy? Jigglypuff. This character is insane. Puff hits you once and kills you. She's like a top 2 edgeguarding character. It's like Puff and Pika are probably the 2 best edgeguarding characters. Combos out the ass, damage up and out the ass, can randomly win. Also can randomly lose, but the randomly winning against Puff is kind of hard unless you specifically play a kill combo character like Mario. Mario can randomly win against this character. But if you're like, I'm gonna outplay you, it's kind of hard to do that. I mean, we've seen Hungrybox beat top Yoshis. We've seen Base Mage do crazy well against so many players, like even like Palu mains. They have cheese with Sing, they have cheese with IDJ combos, and like landing up air and rest, and like there's so many little things that you have to be ready for against Puff, and if you don't, you're gonna die. And if you are ready, you're still probably gonna die, because the flow charts that this character has are ridiculous. Like, Puff is a good character. Don't come at me. I know, I've said this character's good for a long time. The hero of Hyrule is back for their second spot, because there's 3 of them. Where the fuck is the character? Link! Low high tier. Theoretically, Link is like top tier. Bomb infinites and crazy bomb combos and all this crazy stuff. But the thing is, in order to use those, you have to sacrifice recovery, and not be having a recovery blows. So while Link has some great normals, forward air, boomerang, F tilt, bomb, they're all really good, I just think that he has to constantly make decisions that can cost him a stock. And not in terms of like, I'm gonna try to approach, and if I miss, I'm wrong. It's like, no, he pulled bomb out 10 seconds ago, tried to do a combo with it, then got grabbed and thrown off stage, and then he died. Because you can't just blow up the bomb, because someone's just gonna notice that and jump off stage and kill you. I still think Link is like low-key amazing, but he's so simple. He just is a better Ike. And I think he has a lot of room to grow still, but the Links that do the combos aren't showing up well enough in results to know that it's like theoretically possible. And yeah, is that like, oh, there's just no Link that's doing well? Yes, I get that. But in a meta right now where there's so many players of so many obscure characters doing amazingly well, like again, Sumotsuto, you have Big D, you have Miyatono, you have Yez, you have J-Jaw, you have Kirby Kid, you have Leon and Hero and Sandro, like and Hikaru and Axel. You have so many amazing players of so many characters down here that just being like, yeah, well, theoretically, just bomb combo everyone doesn't hold up. It's still better than them because Nair's a really good move. Nair's an incredible move and his kill potential is fucking insane. It's more like, I don't care about results, but the lack of results means a little bit. Following Link, we have a much better zoner and a character with some silly hitboxes, but also better limit as Wii Fit Trainer. I wanted to put Wii Fit higher than this, but it's kind of hard to justify that. Great zoning, great playing on the ledge. One of the only characters legitimately comfortable on the ledge. Very few characters are like, yeah, I'm fine being on ledge. Like, maybe they have like good getting off the ledge, sure. But the ledge itself, no one's comfortable there, except for Wii Fit, which is a unique like plus for them. Also, they kill so early. With deep breathing, they kill with a back air like 85, dash tag at like 110. Like, it's literally a stronger Pika dash tag with deep breathing. But again, their matchups are a little awkward, and they can't deal with short characters, and there's like 10, maybe like 9 relevant short characters of like the top 25, 30 characters. So it's a lot of bad matchups. And also, they can get outzoned by characters like Samus or characters like Steve. They get rushed down pretty hard because they don't have great out of shield options. So like, there's a lot of like archetypes that kind of give this character trouble that you have to hard outplay people. Like playing Wii Fit versus Fox, like, yeah, you can edgeguard them and you can, you know, snipe their recoveries and you can keep them away. But like, if you get hit once, you're gonna take 90. So it's a little hard. It's not even a traditional heavy, but I would still consider them a heavy. Incineroar is kind of good. Terrifying character. Being scary in tournament to me is important now. Ignore the Lucario down there. I know he's not scary most of the time. It's fine. And Incineroar is terrifying. Having 1 or 2 random good results doesn't necessarily mean much. Incineroar kills you at 70 and has revenge. He has a way to deal with projectiles, which almost no other zoner has, like effective, like really good way of dealing with it. He has a really good way of dealing with his disadvantage because like revenging when you're at 50 and someone's gonna hit you for revenging if you're wrong is like super worth it because he can just, if he's right, he's gonna murder you at 12. He has like one of the best sums of moves in the game. Every one of Incineroar's moves except for like up tilt is like a good move. The only other character that I can think of here that has like that good of moves, it's like Ganon has really good moves and then Kirby has really good moves. Other than that, like Incineroar's like a top 4 moves of the people so far. He's really, really good. He's just slow. He has good advantage state, surprisingly. Great ledge trapping. He's good at getting off the ledge too because he always has a ledge jump into revenge. So, and also his recovery is surprisingly hard to edgeguard as most characters can. Pika can, thankfully, but most characters can't effectively edgeguard this character unless they like don't have a double jump. Yeah, terrifying character. We were talking about him in chat earlier. I think this character is one of the most overrated characters in the game. Sephiroth, sucks relatively. Sephiroth has a lot of good things. He has Wing. Wing is crazy. Wing is so good. But he has some of the most awkward to use moves in the entire game. I don't understand what his game plan is except get Wing and then spam back air, which is a pretty good game plan, not gonna lie. But he's really awkward. He has like okay out of shield options because he has like footstool dare out of shield and he has nair. He doesn't really combo you and he tries to advantage you with up air, but up airs frame a billion and then has a billion frames of end lag. So he's not like a normal sword character that can just be like, I hit you above me, upper, 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 upper. Sephiroth can't do that. Sephiroth has to like time his stuff. But Wing is ridiculous. And he's pretty good at edge guarding, honestly, and his counter's really good. So he has like ways to deal with projectiles because side B goes through it and he has counter. But I don't know, he has such an awkward game plan. Like realistically, am I being probably a little too harsh? Yeah, I get that. He's probably like here. But I don't know, I feel like he's so underwhelming if you play a character that can either kill early or can keep up with Wing. I've never thought Sephiroth was super, super good. And I know Sephiroths have results, right? Like Tweak Sephiroth is good and Ken Sephiroth is amazing. And Ned does on and off well. But he's just hard. Again, me talking about characters, I'm talking about solo maining the character, right? Whereas Ken and Ned, well now Ned, PT is a pools character. So he can just outplay and just game plan people in pools. Sephiroth doesn't really have a solid game plan. He has to like outplay you and kind of work on you, which is one of the reasons I underrate probably a character that's going to be a bit higher, like top tier. But I underrate them because they're really hard to play in like round 1 and round 2 pools because he's just hard. And he has to like only be playing against his opponent. He can't just game plan people because he doesn't have a solid game plan. Because his game plan is what? Use his frame 14 or whatever it is fair over and over again, but at the end of a short hop. So he has to short hop, wait, fair, but he doesn't have a good fastball. He doesn't have a good empty jump. So like, I don't know. Sephiroth is weird. You know who's not weird and like way more straightforward and also has a lot of broken things? Luigi. He has win condition. He has, I have game plan. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. I'm only going to do one thing, and then the second thing to kind of make you forget that I'm gonna do the one thing. He wants to grab you, and he wants to do a billion damage. Frame 1 invincible down B that has win box for some reason. He kills super early. He has a 0 death. He has down throw up B. He has down throw back air. He has just crazy combos even without grab, because if he hits like a random fair, he gets like fair, nair, up air, turn around, up air, back air. Like, he does so much damage. But of course, he is inconsistent because you either don't get the grabs because you're playing a passive character. He loses to like every zoner, which is a lot of characters and a lot of really meta relevant characters, and also loses to most sword characters, and also loses to edge guarding characters. But sometimes it just doesn't matter because he hits you anyway and kills you. So he can accidentally win a lot, but Luigi can accidentally win and accidentally lose. So that's why he's down here as opposed to like higher, basically. Oh my god, I hella forgot Rosa. No. Rosa was supposed to be here. I had her in a tier lower and I moved her up in my head. I literally forgot Rosa. No. Rosa's actually supposed to be here. But yeah, Rosa is low high tier. I can kind of agree with the buzz. This character's fucking hard. It's really hard for Rosa and Luma to randomly get wins. Like, they don't accidentally get wins a lot. They have to outplay their opponent. And while they can outplay their opponents, there are so many characters in this game that accidentally get wins. They can do well enough versus Rosa. Even if Rosa, like, maybe wins the matchup, it's, like, theoretically +1 or theoretically even, like, you just die. Like, Fox Rosa is, like, theoretically, like, even or +1 for Rosa because, like, yeah, just stay away, edge guard, don't get dash attacked. And then you get dash attacked once because welcome to Smash Ultimate, and then you explode into 19 pieces of flammable candy. Character has a lot of good stuff. Great with the desyncs and all the funky little tricks, but the problem is that's what they are. They're tricks. If you understand how Rosa and Luma work, they work a lot less, or it just comes to a standstill, which is why a lot of DeBuzz's games are really slow. And I know DeBuzz doesn't think the character is particularly amazing, but I think they're good. I think they're definitely, again, playable. Everyone except for these 3 characters is realistically playable in tournaments because every single one of these characters, except maybe Vanjo, has had results, right? Clearly, a top 10 player in the world plays this character. An arguably other top 10 player in the world plays this character. Top 10 player arguably in the world if you go to Japan, or a top 10 Japanese player inarguably plays this character. And like same for Abadongo and Metaknight, and like Big D's like top 20 or 25 in the world right now, and he plays Ice Climbers. Like, welcome to Smash Ultimate, that's just how this game is. But yeah, low high tier. Maybe better than Chrom. I'll put better than Chrom.
Pikachu, busted.